We went to the doctor today for the exploratory surgery, and before the surgery, my doctor, Dr. Wood, came in and sat down, and he said, "Well, it's much worse than we thought it was. The cancer has spread. It's in my lymph nodes. It's in my pelvic bone. I broke my pelvic in Fort Worth about a year and a half ago, coming off stage. A little crack, nothing serious, but there's cancer in it now. So, surgery, the best case scenario, is out of the question, and we're going to go from that to chemotherapy. Um, it lowers my odds tremendously. But it ain't over, and I'm going to fight it all the way. But I'm going to do it in Vegas. I'm going home. We'll stay here about another week. All of this will be coordinated and directed by MD Anderson, but the actual chemo and things will be done in Las Vegas. They'll set it up with a doctor that they know and trust, at a place that they know and trust, and they will oversee it long distance. And so I will be at home in my own bed with Rhonda there with me, with my dogs outside and the warm Nevada sun. And I'm comfortable with this, brothers and sisters. I am comfortable with this. And I know it sounds kind of strange, but I am more comfortable with this than I was with the surgery, because the surgery was so dramatic and drastic and radical. And not just the surgery or the fact that they're cutting things off of me and out of me, but the recuperation would have been incredibly painful. And I just don't, I'm not big on, really bad pain. This one, whatever it will be, won't be painful. And my doctor and Rhonda would not let me die in pain. That's for sure. Just, it won't happen. And so, and I was also thinking, in the previous one, I said, it's been a good life. Not only has it been a good life, but think of how lucky I am. I got to live a long life, a long, fulfilling life in the greatest country at its very peak. I was born in 1942. I got to see the advent of television and jet airplanes and the interstate highway system. And, it lived in the time of antibiotics where, 150 years ago, if you got pneumonia or an infection, more than likely you died. Now we take a pill and we're fine, go about our business the next day. So I lived in the best of times, in the best of places. I've traveled the world. I've lived in Australia. I've been to Africa. I've been to Europe. I've been to Russia. I've been, to Central America. I never made it to South America, but, I did spend a week in Winnipeg at 49 below, but we'll let that one slide. And I got to do something that was fulfilling. I get to leave my art behind thanks to the internet. As long as people ever study or are interested in late 20th century comedy or early 21st century comedy in English, and they like a good joke or a good story, I'll be remembered. And so over the next period of time, instead of telling you all, medical things for the whole thing, what I'm going to do is tell you some stories that are not suitable to the comedy stage, but they're very interesting, and stories that Rhonda has always wanted me to tell you all. And so I'm going to take this opportunity in the Cancer Chronicles to tell you stories about my dad and growing up, and some of the things that happened to me when I was a young criminal, and some of the things I've seen and some of the things I've done. Uh, I will let you know how the progress is going, but I'm not going to go into great detail on the medical things. It's going to be chemo's not fun from what I understand. But what the hell? We all die anyway. And once again, the outpouring of love and respect that you all put on me and Rhonda, and don't you all forget Rhonda, because Rhonda is, oh man, I love that woman so. I love that woman so, and she loves me so. So, stay tuned. You're going to hear some great fucking stories, man. One of them is Parish Prison Part 2. See, Part 1, for those of you, have seen it, it wasn't grim, but I mean, it was dark. But the next one is, it's going to blow your shit away. And so I'm going to tell you some stories, my friend, but I'm not going to tell you one tonight. I'm going to tell you that today a new reality came slap me upside the head. And after Rhonda and I, went through the moments of nervous breakdown and panic, we've adjusted and we're okay with this and we're going to be all right. Uh, we still need your help, but we're going to be all right. So I love you guys. You got some stories coming up.